Have you been afraid of judgment from other people? Have you dealt with judgment from other people? How do you deal with judgment from other people? Is this something that has come up in your life that you've been afraid of? How other people are going to judge you, whether it be your business, whether it be your choices, whether it be for your family, your religion, what you're doing politically, what you're doing with, masks, vaccines, who cares? I don't know. Are you afraid of how other people are going to judge you for your choices? Have you ever been somebody that's afraid of that? And do you stop yourself? This is the big one. Do you stop yourself from doing what you want to do, what you know is best, because you fear the judgment from other people? Do you prevent yourself from doing the very thing that you know is going to take you to the next level because you're afraid of how other people are going to judge you, and then how they may hurt you, how they may stop you, how they may plot against you? And has that prevented you from doing what you know that you need to do in your life and in your business? I want to know from y'all live today if you've experienced this, if you have allowed the fear of judgment from others to prevent you from doing what you know that you need to do in your life and in your business, or what you want to do. Let's say you have a desire to do something. Have you let the fear of how others are going to judge you or may potentially judge you, whether it be based on past experiences, stop you from doing the very thing that God's put inside you to do? Hey, what's up? Good morning, Stephanie. How are you today? Have you dealt with this? Have you dealt with being afraid of the judgment that other people will have towards you to stop you from doing what you know you're called to do, what you know is going to help you, what you know is the most healthy thing for you? And let's answer that question. Hey, Lillian, how are you? Why is that? Why do we take the judgment, why do we let the fear of how others are going to judge us stop us from doing what we want? That's a big one. Why do we not do what we want, what we know that we need to do? See, we got these two things. What we want to do, what we know we need to do, and then we have this barrier of other people's judgment. And as soon as we come up against it, we turn around, we hightail around backwards and not do that thing. Stephanie says, absolutely, people-pleasing is a strong, natural reaction. I've been working on this and have come a long way. That's awesome. I'm so thankful to hear that you've come a long way on that process. And you know what? When you recognize that, that's powerful. You know how many people I hear that don't even have the self-awareness to know that they have come a long way and they're still on a journey? You're in the top 5% of people at that place when you can recognize it's a journey, I've come a long way, and I've been working on that. So give yourself a pat on the back for that. Seriously. Most people don't even get to that place. And you've done what most people could never do, handled the same situations and the same circumstances that you have, Stephanie. Realize that. Believe that inside of yourself. Because I know you, and I know that there's so much inside of you. All right? Lillian says, because we don't trust ourselves. That's a good one. That's a good one. Do you think after I got arrested for drunk driving that I trusted myself very much to be somebody to speak on self-control and discipline and building a business? No, to be honest, after that had happened for me, I made some really bad choices in my life that I shouldn't be here where I am today because of them. But I've had to tell myself and remind myself every single day of who I am. And build that trust with myself. And build a new relationship, a new self-relationship with ourselves. And what happens is we have this internal relationship with ourselves that's usually based on our upbringing, our parents, how they raised us. Listen, if you were raised to have to please and manage and maintain the emotions of a parent. You know that's a lot of where people pleasing comes from, and then maybe you got into a relationship with someone that way, and then you had friends that way, and then a spouse and a boss. I know some of y'all have had all 5 of those that are watching. And so then your life tells you, I live to make other people happy. I don't trust that what I do is the right thing all the time. And so I need to make sure to operate within the boundaries of what other people say that I can and can't do, have permission to do, how they judge me, because I don't fully trust myself. That's kind of the root cause. And give yourself some grace around that too. That's the other thing too. Like I'm a huge one about we're in the process. You're in a process. If you're watching this right now, you're in a process of growing to become the best version of yourself that you could possibly ever be. And it takes time to get there. It takes awareness to get there. It doesn't happen overnight either. Like there's not like an overnight it just clicks. One of the biggest ones that helped me overall with all of this is I just started asking for help from people that I knew were where I wanted to be in life. Okay? Millionaires, billionaires, $100 million people that were making that kind of money. Oh, and by the way, money wasn't the big factor I cared about. How was their relationship with their kids? And their wife, if they were a guy, or their husband, if they were a gal that I was listening to. How was their family relationships? How were their friendships? By the way, I want to give you a little bit of a secret about finding good, healthy friends. Pay attention to their other friendships, their other relationships, because their relationship with you is going to be exactly the same as it is with those other people. It's a big one, right? Like, think about that. Think about some of your friends and you see them complaining about their spouse all the time. I had some guy friends that I was talking to that would complain about their spouse all the time, and I was spending time with them. Probably not a good friendship. Probably not a healthy relationship. Probably not somebody that I should be getting advice from. Well, sure, they had business success. They made $100 million. They made $10 million. But at what cost? At what cost, right? And so I started to decide, first off, who are the healthy people for me to pay attention to? Who are the healthy people for me to spend time with? Who are the healthy people for me to learn from? Who are safe people that are going to raise me up to that higher level? And I started hanging out with who are the millionaires that have an incredible family and friend relationships? Who are the billionaires that have incredible friend relationships? People that have built multiple billion-dollar companies. I have some people that I work with that they're at that level. That's the game they play at. So much higher than the game that I play at. And it's like everything I can learn is like wisdom from them because I see, okay, they have a good relationship with their family, their kids, their spouse. They're respected in their business community. They have a good reputation. How can I learn from that? And so this is how we can define who are the people that we want to listen to. Who are the mentors? Who are the people that we want to let speak into our life? And anybody outside of that, like, they can say whatever they want, right? You guys can say whatever you want, but I'm not gonna take it as like something that I need to apply to my life. If I'm going to one of my mentors, I'm gonna take that as something that I'm gonna apply to my life. If my wife speaks up on something and tells me, hey, you might want to fix this, I listen. Because that's the kind of relationship that we have that's built on trust, where I listen to what she has to say. If it's just some random person on social media, even if it's my coaching clients, I'm very careful who I let speak into my life, who I let judge my activities, who I let define me. I got a friend, though. He called me up. He's like, hey, listen, bro, you've been taking too long to do this thing. You've been taking 2 months to do this. Where's it at? Boom, you called me out. You called me out and you raised me up, because you know what? He knows where my goals are. He knows where I'm headed. And that was a good friend. And that wasn't judgment or criticism, by the way. That was wisdom. That was wise counsel that I was getting from him. And I was so thankful for that. And so, to be honest, when we get judgment from other people, first off, one of the better ways to start trusting yourself, start finding more trustworthy people to let speak into your life. That's a strategy that's going to help you. Start to find new people to let speak into your life. Bounce ideas off of some new people. Maybe some different people than you've normally bounced ideas off of. Maybe you bounce ideas off of this friend that you've known for so long, but now maybe their advice isn't the best for you in this season. Maybe they were a good friendship in the last season, but not in the next season. Sometimes, and then we need to not be afraid of leaving those relationships. Yeah, having friendships that hold you accountable. They're so hard to find these days. Absolutely. Here's one thing I know. If you follow me, I'm going to hold you accountable to believing in yourself, trusting yourself, taking action, taking risks, stepping out of your comfort zone, and going after and building a business that makes 6 and 7 figures. That's what I hold people accountable to. If you're watching me right now and you're somebody that says, I want a life that's different than what I have right now, that's what my commitment to you is over social media. As we're talking right now, as we're engaging, is I'm going to hold you to a higher standard. And then there's a mutual agreement of that. I might say some hard things sometimes. I might say some things the way that you don't want to hear it. But it's going to be the right thing in that right moment. Because I know what it takes, my friends. I know what it takes to go from just starting out to building an 8-figure company worth over $10 million. That's my business experience. And I know what it takes to do so with good family relationships, with proper interactions between spouses and friends, and who are the right people to spend time with. Listen, one of the biggest hacks for me that's helped in my business is changing the people that I spend every day with to be people that help raise me up. And then the other thing is spending more time with the people that want to be around me and investing that time in building a community of people on social media, building a community of people on the internet that want to better their lives. Listen, if you want to better your life, I'm gonna speak a hard truth here. If you want to go from where you are right now to a place where you want to be, you can't allow the fear of other people's judgment and criticism stop you from doing what you want to do. Now, I get it. That's painful, and that might be hard. It might be the hardest thing you've ever done. But it's going to be the most worth it thing that you've ever done. Is not letting the fear of how others judge you keep you stuck right where you are, and start building that trust with yourself. Start taking risks. Start stepping out in faith. Start doing things. Becoming okay with making mistakes. Becoming okay with not having to do everything right and perfectly. Realizing that, you know what, you're not going to be able to please everybody. You're not going to be able to make everybody happy around you. And that's part of the process. And as part of the process, we can be kind people. We can be compassionate. We can be somebody that cares about other people. We can be of service. As business owners, how do you find a group of 3,000 people? This is how I look at a business, any business model. How do I find a group of 3,000 people that have the same problem that I can bring a solution to them for? My biggest thing is, as I I want to connect with people that this is my customer avatar. Who are my customers? Well, they have been very successful in corporate America, good employees, naturally a people pleaser, but they have a desire for something more, something greater, to do something to make an income for themselves, to no longer be an employee of the CEO, but to be the CEO that makes 7 figures, that makes $1 million, so that they can then hire people themselves and change the narrative of what it means to be a CEO that respects, that honors people, that brings value to the marketplace. Most of the people that resonate with me, they're over 30, in 35. I'm not even 35 myself. I'm 33, but I don't resonate very much with people that are under 35, under 30, to be honest. Because I've just spent most of my life with people that were at least 10 to 15 years older than me. So my mindset is kind of in that place that's older. Which is kind of cool. It's like, that's my niche. My tribe is like 10 years older than me. And I'm cool with that, and I'm cool knowing that, because I know that I can help somebody that's got a vision. They know that, hey, listen, if I don't do something in the next 10 years, if I don't do something in the next 5 years, or even in the next 12 months, what's going to happen? I got limited time. You're starting to become aware of how limited the clock that you have on your life is. Like, once you hit 40, I've heard from 50, 60 years old, at the same time realizing you still got a lot of time left. You're still young in the game. Like, that's the tension right there. That's what I've heard from a lot of people, and that's that tension. As you get older, you realize, hey, I still got time left, but I've still got very little time. It's that tension right there, and knowing how to act wisely in those situations. Your biggest hurdle is finding your gift and how to apply it to a business. Okay, I should talk about that some more on some upcoming videos. Finding your gift. Let me give you a clue to that. What have you done for the last 20 years in your life? How do you find your gift? What have you done for the last 20 years of your life? Think about that. What do people come to you for, asking for help with? And then, if you were going to die in the next 30 days, how would you spend the next 30 days of your life? I know that sounds really morbid to think about, right? What have you done for the last 20 years? What do people come to you for? And then if you're going to die in the next 30 days, what would you spend that time doing? When you put all of those together, you can usually identify what your gifting is and how to apply it to a business when you look at that formula. Because why do I say the next 30 days? Sorry, if you're going to die in the next 30 days. Because all the fear and worry and judgment of what other people are going to think goes away. Now you have the bucket list of, well, I might as well do this. And some of it might just be spending time with our loved ones. That's okay. If you're somebody that can bring love and compassion, what have you done in business for the last 20 years? If you've been in administration, if you've been creative, there's different things like that. For me, I always had a skill set of identifying where there's gaps in the market and looking at, okay, there's this need in the market. How do we fill it? And then how do we find more customers? So that's what I built my business around, is stepping out and helping other people find new customers in their business. Okay? And so how do you identify your gifting? How do you identify your gift? You look at, what have you done for the last maybe 20 years? What do you have a skill set in? What do people come to you and ask for help with? And then how can you apply that to a business? There's some different questions and stuff that we can toss around to kind of figure that out. But that's the first step, is starting with kind of, what are you good at? What do people come to you for? And if you had 30 days left to live, how would you spend that time? That'll usually help you find your gifting in a business. It's a formula that works for most people. So let me know what you come up with on that. I'd love to hear thoughts. Send me a DM. I might send you a message after this as well. All right? We're going to log off here. It's been about 20 minutes since we've been live. Talk soon, everybody.